Hi guys, I'm gonna make this video very quickly. I just wanted to show you my statues. Some of you know, if you looked at my earliest movies, my video clips, that I am interested in statue collecting, particularly Marvel and DC. And I had just recently moved out of UK and made my new flat over here in Poland, where I'm from. And I've decided to display all the statues and then just share it with you, because I know that there are some guys out there that really like this hobby. Unfortunately, there's not many of us in Poland. The hobby is pretty expensive, I must say. I probably wouldn't be able to afford any of the statues if I was living in Poland. It's just way too much. But I thought I'm just gonna share with you some of them. So you guys are looking at the first one. It's a Silver Surfer. It's actually a custom-made statue. It's not licensed, so it doesn't have any serial number or anything. I've only seen one review of this statue somewhere on the internet, and I really liked it a lot. I think he's amazing. He's extremely heavy. When the box came in, it was probably around, I think, 40 kilos, something like that. Huge box. It didn't want to go through my door, so I had to reassemble the box and take him out in pieces and then bring him upstairs. And then shipping him back to Poland from United Kingdom was also a nightmare because it's extremely heavy. So I've paid a lot of money for this guy, because he came from, I think, China or Taiwan or somewhere like that, somewhere in Asia, first to United Kingdom and then to Poland. I was probably waiting around 4 or 5 months for him from the moment of shipment until I received him in UK. Was extremely long because I went for the cheaper version, which was by the ferry instead of by plane. But nevertheless, the seller was very happy, very communicative. I can't say a bad word about him, and I finally got him. So there's not many pieces to him. There's only that statue himself, so the Silver Surfer, the body himself. There's the 12, whatever it is, the cosmic 12, and then his board, and obviously there's also some part of a cosmic matter on his left wrist, but it's not very well seen. What's really cool about the statue is that it's actually can be lit up, so I'm going to show it to you guys now. There you go. This is how it looks like when it's lit up. So you can see it's very bright. I mean, it's not that bright actually. It looks bright on the video, but in person it's actually not that bright. I'm using it as my nightstand because I quite like it. So before I go to bed and I do something in my bedroom or whatever, then I kind of put him on, and I have a bedside table with a lamp as well. So I put that on as well, and I kind of read or just enjoy looking at him because I think he's extremely beautiful. It's a really lovely statue. There were some times when I wanted to sell him, like shortly after I moved into Poland, and I didn't have that much space, and I thought to myself, God, he's so huge, he's so big, and the pose is also quite awkward because it needs to be sort of frontal but sideways as well. This Cosmic 12 is very large with diameter as well, and very heavy, and I thought to myself, maybe I should just sell him online. And there was a minute when I put him online, but there was nobody interested, and I thought to myself, you know what, actually I'm gonna keep him. So I kept him, and I'm really glad that I kept him. The only thing that's faulty on this particular statue is that there's a little bit of space in between the layers of the resin, and you can see the LED bright lights poking through, and there's only one place where it happens really, so I might just use something to block it out. Maybe I'll get some sponge or something in a yellow color and then just block it out, because it kind of annoys me when I walk down and I'm passing by the statue. The LED are just shining through and you can see them. On the video you probably won't be able to see them, but yeah, let me give you a couple of close-ups on him. And I've actually went in with the chrome version. There is a silver version without the chrome, but I decided to go with the chrome version. And you can see his face. He has white eyes, and then everything else is chrome, including his board. Really lovely design, really nicely sculpted. The only thing that could be done differently here are his feet. The feet are sort of very plain. I wish they did them with a little bit more attention, just like they did with the hands. The hands are done amazingly, really lovely sculpt. And again, I wish they did that with the feet. They haven't, so it is what it is. But as you can see, it's a pretty nice statue. Yeah, and there you go. There's a whole version of him. Like I said, he's in my bedroom, so I sort of use him as a nightstand, night lamp. Let me just show you now a couple of the other statues. So we're going to move into my living room now, where I've got some other ones in there. Right, so let's move in here. I'm going to start from the right hand side, and I have the Punisher. I really love Punisher. I think he's amazing. At the beginning, when I saw this statue, I thought to myself, I know that there was a lot of controversy regarding his face, because I know that the original wasn't exactly the same as he is here. I know the original, how do you call it, the design was much more realistic. Well, obviously the sculpt is hard to replicate, but I still love him. I mean, he's just such a badass, honestly. I love the way he is posed, because you can have him either right in the center, frontal, or you can have him sideways, and whichever way you're gonna have him, it doesn't matter, because he really looks amazing. He has a gun, and he has this sort of smoke that looks like a skull coming out of it. So that's a nice touch. I'm planning to buy a little wire, like a wire from a hobby shop where you build a trains or stuff and then just wrap it around his club. So it's just going to look a little bit more badass as well, like a bit of addition, something that I've not seen anywhere else, but I sort of thought it would be a nice idea. There are my pictures there, so I don't want to show you any of the pictures, but that's what the base look like. It's sort of a marble color, really nicely done. And there's a kingpin's cane just over here, so you can just display it however you want it. I kind of have it that way. I sort of have it at the back because I don't want to lose it, so it's just sitting there at the back. And that's the Punisher for you. Okay, moving on, we have Captain America. Now, Captain America is actually my first statue that I've ever bought. I bought him in Shaftesbury Avenue in London, and I was just walking by, and that's actually how it started, the whole hobby with me. I was walking by the shop and I thought, oh my god, this is such a cool shop, I've not seen it before. Even though I've been there so many times, I've never seen that shop before. And I walked in and I saw this statue and I thought to myself, god, he's so cool. And that was the first time I've ever saw a statue, and I thought to myself, I need to get him, I need to buy this guy. So I went in and I just literally just bought him out. I think it was around £750, British pounds. And I remember I had to take an Uber to get him home. And till this point, this is probably my favorite Captain America. I know that there are many different ones, but I don't know, again, probably because it's a sentimental piece for me, the first one, and therefore I think it's the best one. I know there's a lot of controversy out there, that there are better ones now, bigger ones, there are, more dynamic ones. This one has a typical museum pose, but I mean, I still love him. And this is a simple version. This is the collector edition. It's not the exclusive. The exclusive has I think a silver helmet in his other hand, in his right hand. I don't have that, so I just have a fist instead. Next to him, I have a Superman. This Superman I actually bought this is a second-hand Superman, so I bought him from an owner not far from London. I remember I had to take a train to get him. And the guy also had Hulk versus Wolverine, but I didn't have that much money, so I couldn't buy both of them, so I went for Superman. And this is the exclusive. As you can see, he has the Brainiac head in his hand. It's an exclusive one. The other one just has a normal fist hand. I really like him a lot. I know a lot of people are saying that he's way too tan, that his color of his skin is way off. I don't see that, to be honest with you. Again, here the lighting might not be the best, but in my opinion he's really, really nice. Lovely sculpt, fantastic definition of the muscle. I quite like actually that he doesn't have the red pants on him, but the blue. I just think that the red pants, they just look childish and silly. I prefer this more modern look. And the base is really nice. It's very small footprint of that base, but it's really done nicely. As you can see, it's a skull from the Brainiac spaceship. And you have like a tentacles going around it. I'm not going to turn him around because I just don't really want to move him. But that's what it looks like. It's a bit of a green, silver, and then there's this purple beads around it as well. Really nice. He's a bit of hard one to display because he needs to be somehow to the side, but at the same time you want to make sure that he's frontal to you. So really it's a centerpiece, so it needs to stay somewhere in the center, and in my case it actually is in the center of the cabinet, so I'm pretty happy with how he looks. There you go. He's very tall compared to Captain America. He is extremely tall, but that's because he sits on the base. And then next to him we have a Joker piece. Again, Sideshow. All of these are Sideshow apart from the Silver Surfer. Joker piece. I've actually bought this Joker online on eBay from a guy in London, UK. I don't know why. I actually quite liked him. This was first of my pieces that was really dynamic. I thought to myself, I don't want to get any more museum pose. I want something more dynamic, so I went for this guy, and I actually never regretted. I really love him. The base is very hard to fit, so this massive pogo that he's on and the fist that is crushing the seal of law of Gotham, it's really hard to fit inside, but once you fit it, it's really stable. So as you can see, the whole concept is of him riding a pogo. A lot of small pieces. You have a lot of small pieces here. You have these pogo handles. You've got the little horn. You've got the feet of the pogo, and then you can have two different faces. He has this one and a bit more comic one. I prefer this one. It's just more realistic. I think he's really scary actually. As you can guys see, it's pretty nicely done. And then also he has a switch out hand where you can have a birthday cake with a dynamite inside instead of this machine Tommy gun or whatever it is. I actually went with the machine gun because I think that cake is just a bit too white for him. Yeah, really nicely done. It's a lot of little Easter eggs in there. If you look at the face of the pogo, you can see like the woodwork there, and then you can see one teeth inside. It's really done nicely. Also a lot of scratches on the side, and then on the bottom it's like a greenish sort of fluorescent, almost green. I was thinking to buy a little LED light and then just wrap it around that base to light him up, but I don't know if that wouldn't be too much. It might have just taken away from the statue itself. There will be lights here on this display at some point. I just need to buy them. I've run out of lights, to be honest with you. For me, a very important part of collecting is to display the pieces with a nice lighting. So I always try to make sure that there's enough light for all of those pieces, and these three actually don't have a light on them at the moment because I need to buy some. Okay, moving on, we have two more pieces over here. Let me just turn one of them. So we have, God, I can never find the switch here. So hard to find it. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we have two pieces over here. Let me just use this to, sorry, I need to extend my stick. There we go. Okay, so we've got two pieces. We've got the Iron Man, again, by Sideshow. This one is an amazing piece. I absolutely love him. The fact that he's light up and he has so many light up features. He has the hand light up, the eyes, the chest, the little rocket you can see, and then obviously a massive base lit up with the boots. You can see that here now. Obviously the camera will pick up the light a lot and it will almost blind you, but it's actually not that bright. It's a nice orange reddish tone to it. Yeah, so it's a really nice piece, really lovely done. The boots here, especially on the bottom, they kind of dirtied up, so yeah, it does look like he had a battle, or he is in a battle now. The base itself, it's just one big massive blast with a bits of I guess the Stark Tower around it, and obviously then himself. The pose very dynamic. Again, quite hard to display because he's quite wide and quite tall, and the base itself is also very, very deep. So he is a hard one to display. I decided to put him up there because, number one, he is kind of looking straight down, and I think he looks quite cool being up on the shelf. It looks like he's flying basically. Yeah, let me just switch him off so you can guys see without the light. There we go. And now that's him without the light. So like I said to you, I have all my pieces lit up with a little LED lights because I really want them to stand out in the room and be a showpiece for the room. Right next to him we have this guy. I always have problem remembering his name. Gambit, there you go. His name is Gambit, right? And this is my last piece I've bought before I move into Poland, from United Kingdom. I was actually walking past the same shop again in London, in Shaftesbury Avenue, and I thought to myself, oh my god, this is such a nice piece, and I've not seen him there before, so it was new. So I decided to go in and buy him. I was like, this is the last one I'm gonna get for myself from UK. And there is another piece, I believe, by Prime One, I think, but I do prefer this one. I really do prefer this one. I think that his pose is really, really dynamic. He's very, very wide from the end of the cards here on the left until the end of his boot right there. He's quite wide, really. He's hard to display as well because he sort of stands out to every direction, left, right, front, back. His cape is very deep as well at the back. I'll show you that now. So it's very, very hard to actually display him. And as you can see here, a little bit of his base is actually sticking out because I just did not have enough space to display him. He would look amazing on a round, sort of circular, tall base, like a column or something. I think he would look really nice there. I don't know how they do it, but it's the dynamics of him are just amazing. The fact that he's just holding up by one point there on his knee is pretty amazing. I think the whole design of those pieces are really, really done, you know, top notch. And the same with this guy actually. He's also holding only at one point on his calf here, and that's how the whole piece is holding up, and also how the electricity is running through him. So, you know, there you go, those two pieces together. Okay, now we're going to move over into my into other pieces that I have here. The first one will be Aquaman. Again, this Aquaman was bought from the shop in Shaftesbury Avenue in London. I was just passing by again. I went in, I wanted to buy something. You know when you had this urge to spend the money? And I went in and I saw this guy and I was like, I need to have him. So I know there are other versions, the big version from XM Studio and Queen Studio, I think. They have amazing pieces, but they are so expensive that I just could not justify buying a piece for 1,500 or whatever, 2,000 pounds. It's just way too much. So I decided to go with this guy. I really love the way his face, his portrait is done. It's so realistic, like the eyes, the color of the eyes, the beard, you know, the freckles, everything really done top notch. The whole body armor is also, like, all the little shells are done, you know, separately, sculpted. The only thing that it's not sculpted are his I don't know, leggings or whatever it is, because it's like it's a fabric. It's like a sort of rubbery feel fabric. It doesn't pick up any dust, I'll be honest with you, because obviously those statues, they get dusty, but it doesn't pick up any dust, so no problem with that. The base is a little bit boring. I wish that they did the base with a bit more color. Like, there are some, you know, some bits here, like tentacles over here, and a bit of coral. I wish they were done in a different color, like red, yellow, and I wish that also this sign here, Aquaman sign, was done in gold. I think that would be just a nicer design. They went for a very plain base when it comes to colors, I think, just to concentrate on his upper body and his torso. And then the trident is done also very nicely. You have a little signs on it, just running throughout the whole trident. And the top of the trident is also two-colored. It's sort of goldish, and then it runs into a almost white silver on the top. Yeah. On the side you can actually see his neck tattoos as well, which is really done nicely. Yeah, oops, sorry. It's very fiddly, this camera. There we go. So that's your Aquaman. And this is the only statue that actually has an actor depiction on the portrait. All of my other statues, they just have, I don't know, portraits, just as the designer or the maker imagined him. But this guy is actually based on Jason Momoa, which I don't mind really. I quite like it. Okay, then we're gonna go up to the Batman. This is, in my opinion, the best Batman ever. Again, probably because I own it. And this is the exclusive version where he has two batarangs in his arms. You can get the standard version without them, just having fists. But I got this guy second hand, again, from a guy in London. Very cheaply. I've got him for, I think, 400 something, 470 pounds. So that was really cheap for this statue. The guy was just getting rid of some of his statue, getting into 1/3 scale instead of 1/4. And I thought I could not just let him go. So I bid straight away, bought him, got him delivered to me, and there he is. So here we also have a double, sorry, not double, but this way we have, this statue also has a cape which is not sculpted, so it's a mixed media. It's a fabric that sort of feels like a leather on one side, and it has wires inside, so you can pose it however you want it. I quite like the statues with fabrics, actually. I think it's just they're just so poseable. You can do whatever you want with them and make them look however you want, and they always look good. And again, there's no problem with any dust or anything like that. I think there's another version now that Sideshow released, which is blue in color, but I wouldn't go for blue. I just really like this dark one. It's really a badass. Very nicely sculpted, all of the pieces on his belt and then down his thighs and on his legs. It's all sculpted so detailed. It's unreal. And then obviously the base we have like Amadeus Arkham. Looks like a cemetery. You've got some headstones. Yeah, I really like it a lot. And again, the base is it's really done nicely as well. It's very, very detailed. The colors are perfect, and it's not too big as well, which is also good because it's easy. He's easy to display, even though it's a large statue. It's very imposing statue, but it's very easy to display. Okay, and right next to him we have Thor. I mean, this Thor. What has not been said about this Thor yet online? I think everything. Sorry guys, sorry for the shaking. I need to extend the tripod a little bit again. There we go. We've got Thor. Again, Sideshow. Really nicely done. I've got the standard version. I don't have the exclusive. I just have the collector edition. The exclusive has a Stormbreaker in his hand. I just have a normal open hand, but I really don't mind, to be honest with you. And then he has a hammer of the really done nicely. He has a strange... The only thing I don't like about him is that the way his head is being positioned. I wish it was a little bit more up, because now he just looks like he's sort of looking down, like he's about to sneeze into his shoulder. But yeah, again, he's a hard one to display because he's kind of looking straight and down at the same time, so you have to have him on the sort of on the either up or on your eye level, which is hard obviously to put something on your eye level, because I mean it's hard for me because I don't have that kind of furniture and I don't have a pillars or anything like that to put my statues, because I just don't have that much space in my house, sorry, in my flat. So there we go. And another one, that's another statue obviously with a unsculpted cape. So again, mixed media with fabric and wires, so you can pose it however you want. And that base is huge as well. It's massive. It's round, but it has a very large diameter, and also a lot of pieces goes into it. So again, it's a hard one to display because you want to display it in a way that you can see both statue and the base. But for me, I think up there is just the right spot for him. And like I said, I do like to have a nicely lit up statues. So as you can see, I try to have them always lit up when I'll get home. I actually got rid of a normal ceiling lights, so I have this light instead on the statues and in my aquarium with fishy. A couple of art pieces are lit up as well, so I don't have to have a normal ceiling light. I just like to have them statues showing. There we go. And let's move to the next one. There's only 3 more left. There we go. So we have a Deadpool. This one is XM Studio. Very fiddly piece. I'll be honest, if you touch him, he's rocking. He literally is rocking. He is only holding on that carousel pony or whatever it is, and it has only one piece that's holding the whole statue, which is over here, as you can see. So it's really wobbly, but obviously I don't touch him too much. This is the I think B version. There's A version and B version of the statue. The B version is, I don't know which one is which, but one of them is without the frame and without the Wahoo and Jimmy Changas. It's just the statue itself, but I really wanted to go with the frame one, and I went with the frame one. He has a lot of different switches, like he can have the katanas in his hand instead of the how do you call it, the gun. Yeah, and then you can have a different face as well. This face is actually partially opened, so you can see his teeth and his face scars, and he's holding a grenade, where the other face is just basically covered and he doesn't hold anything in his mouth. But I really wanted him to hold that grenade. I really like it a lot. It is very fiddly, this grenade. You have to put it in. I actually glued it with a little bit of super glue, and then I just stick it in and it just stays there, because otherwise it kept on falling off. And then here we have the little pony. The pony is made in a really pop white and pink and red colors, and silver and gold, like this old style carousel. So it's really cool that they've made it that way. And then you have a little rubber chicken, obviously, for Deadpool. Yeah, really cool, really dynamic piece. Whoever comes in and they just drawn into this piece, they get drawn into two pieces. People get drawn into two pieces. This guy, and the one I was showing you earlier, the Punisher. Yeah. So there you go. And the base is actually not that big compared to some other pieces. It's very heavy. I think it has to be heavy to hold up the rest of the statue, and it has a lot of little beatsy pieces like those arrows and the knives and dynamite and those little bullets. I actually glued those bullets in as well because they were annoying me, because they were just, you meant to just throw them around and just leave them, but each time I was dusting him or doing whatever moving stuff, they would just fall off, so I decided to glue them on. I have no intention of selling him, so I can just glue it on and they stay on. Really lovely piece, really eye-popping colors. And then above him we have Spider-Man. There we go. This is the Spider-Man from, oh, I don't remember the name of the company now. How bad is that? I'm not going to be able to tell you now because I just don't remember. But this is the one where you can actually light him up. So it has LEDs inside of that base that goes around him, and they go in different colors like pink, blue, red, purple, and they just sort of change. They go around in a circle. I don't have him on at the moment because it's very distracting, these colors. They're very, very bright and they keep on moving all the time. So, you know, if I had that on at home, then it would probably distract me. And number two, he could get, I mean, the lights could have just get burned off. So I just don't want that to happen. You know, if I have like a desire to put him on, then I put him on and he stays on for a little bit and then I switch it off again. But at the moment I have him switched off. Very dynamic pose. It's a nightmare to put this piece together because there's so many little bits and pieces in those drones here. So you can see those flying bits here, and they have those guns, and you have to put every single gun in. And on the instruction that they send you, they all look exactly the same. So you don't know which one to put where, and it takes forever to actually fit them. And you have 4 of these. So there's one here on the front, and then there are 2 more, I think, or 1 more at the top there. So again, you have bits and pieces you have to put in order to assemble that piece. Really annoying. And then he has those bullets coming out with the smoke from behind him in different directions, as you can see. And you can actually see a little bit the colors of the resin inside his base. You see green, purple, yeah. And the statue himself, like the Spider-Man himself, really dynamic pose. He's holding just on his wrist, so there's a massive peg that goes in through that drone and then inside the base. That's how he's holding up. There's no other connection apart from a bit of web that's over there, and it's just to stabilize him so he doesn't swirl to the left or to the right. He just stays in one position. Really nice piece. Very heavy, very big, very awkward to put in, because this is the way he should be on, basically like that. That's how you should display him. But it's very deep. This piece is extremely deep. Just look how deep he is from the back. Okay, very, very deep and very, very heavy. So, and you don't want to move him because he's so heavy, and all those little bits and pieces, if they fall off, then you have problem with putting them in again. So I decided to put him up there, and again I put the light up on him, so I make sure that the light is capturing him and his base as well at the same time. Like I said, I really like to have my pieces nicely lit up. Okay, And then I think my last piece is, there we go, this guy, obviously the Assassin's Creed, Ezio, Animus Ezio, really lovely piece. This one is made by, again I don't remember the company name, something art, I don't remember now. Prime Art, I think, or something like that. No, I don't remember. God, I'm so sorry, I don't remember. You have to check Animus Ezio light up statue and you will find him, because I don't remember the name of the film now. Sorry. And this one is also lit up, so I'm going to light him up for you. There's like a button over here which is so hard to find. If you light up, it sort of gets purple. And as you can see, again, I have lights showing him off, lighting him up from the front and a little bit from the back as well. So I really love this piece. Like, it's hard to actually show you how beautiful this piece is on the camera. It's like a piece of art, in my opinion. Honestly, it is. It's done in such a way. Here's the base is like, obviously it's a cathedral, but if you can have a look how much details go into it, you know, the little angels, and then all the sculpting around, and the flowers, and then the bricks, you know, and then if you go in again, more flowers, and then you have the floor he's standing on, and then the whole rotunda at the back again. It's, you know, it's almost as if someone was designing a maquette of a church properly, you know, for a build-up, because there's so much details in there, so much details. And obviously on this side, if we look at, you can see this animus effect where things are disappearing into time, and that's where you have the LEDs coming in, which really makes this showpiece a stunning piece of art, in my opinion. Really stunning piece of art. Let's look at his face. His face is done okay. I mean, it could have been done slightly better. He's not very much, you can't really see much of his face, being honest with you, because of the way he's positioned. But the rest of him is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The details of his cape and his shoes and the belts and everything is really amazing. Nothing is mixed media here, everything is sculpted. And I believe that they have another 4 or 5 different assassins as well, and they all look exactly like this guy. They all look amazing. I did want to buy all of them actually. They're not that expensive for what they are, but I just don't have space to put them in. I've really wanted them to have like one in each corner of my room, and so they're all lit up. But at the moment I only have 2 rooms in my flat, and I'm planning to get a bigger flat. So once I get a bigger flat, then I will probably buy them and have them in my office, like each of them in one corner of the room. There you go. Okay, so I think that's it really. Oh no, I have 2 little pieces. I'm going to show them to you. One of them I bought just because I had nothing to do and I went for shopping, and obviously I bought them. So one of them, that was before I started with 1/4 scale. But I bought these 2 from Hot Toys, and you've got this one is 1/10 scale, and you have a how do you call him, Iron Man, and then I have Aquaman. Like, they're nice, you know. I mean, if someone is into smaller scale, then they are perfectly fine. They have a lovely details, especially this Aquaman. His pants, or whatever it is, the stockings, as some people call it, are done with a little, like a glittery bit, so they look really, really nice. And as you can see here, boots are also being dirtied up, and then his face. It's a nice piece, you know. He has a lot of switch outs as well, so you can have different hands on this Iron Man. Yeah, there you go. Okay guys, well I hope you liked the tour, and I hope you liked the pieces. If I buy something else, something more, then I will make another videos about them. But I think for now that's it. We're gonna go back to where we started, which is a Silver Surfer, sorry. There we go. Thank you so much for looking at the video, listening. Obviously, as always, leave a comment. If you guys are fellow collectors, then tell me what you guys think about the display. Would you display them differently? Do you have any other tips on how to display your statues? Like, I really don't like this Besta or whatever it is from IKEA. I think they just look like in a shop. I don't want to have my house looking like a shop display, so I do like to have my pieces sort of blended in with the decor. Like my bedroom, for instance, here is all silver and glass, as you can see, obviously mirrored stuff, so he just looks perfect in here. I'm not gonna move him anywhere. And also the other pieces in my other room, they sort of blend in nicely. It doesn't look like a shop. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe if you liked it, and see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye now. And just a quick overview of all the pieces. So we have the Punisher, and then we have Captain America, Superman, and then we have Joker, and then up there we have Gambit and Iron Man. And on the other side, over there we have Aquaman, and on the top we have Batman and Thor, and on the other side, on the top, there's a Spider-Man, and obviously Deadpool lower down, and then at the very end we have a Animus Ezio, so assassins, yeah. And that's it. That's my little collection.